The day Enoch saw an angel shed tears. Unbelievable divine encounter revealed. Few knew what truly happened that night. In a world so steeped in shadows, Enoch felt the weight of heaven pressing down on him. The air shimmered with a strange energy, thick with anticipation, as if every breath was tinged with the extraordinary. Under the dim light of the stars, he walked alone, his heart racing and mind swirling in confusion. Just beyond the grove of ancient trees, a figure stood. Enoch's breath caught in his throat. It was an angel. Radiant and terrifying all at once. The being's wings were massive, blotting out the moonlight, while its eyes gleamed like twin suns piercing through the darkness. But what shocked him most were those tears, glistening like rain on a muted summer day, streaming down the angel's face. Was this divine being weeping? Why? In a moment suspended in time, Enoch felt the profound disconnect between the heavenly and earthly realms. Hundreds of years had passed since the great flood washed over the earth, cleansing it of wickedness. And here, in the heart of this primeval world, another event unfurled, one that threatened to tilt the balance once more. Enoch's blood pulsed in sync with the throbbing silence surrounding him. This angel's sorrow hinted at sins yet unredeemed, decisions made behind heavy curtains that obscured the truth. The burden of heaven and the heart of humanity lay intricately woven together in that moment. Enoch trembled, recalling the prophecies that spoke of impending judgment. Secrets buried deep within ancient scrolls whispered to him, their voices intertwining with the scent of damp earth and night blooms. Each teardrop from the angel's cheeks resonated with his own fears and doubts. How could he bear witness to such pain? What mysteries lay hidden beneath that sorrowful countenance? What truth did the angel carry that could change the fate of man? As the silence stretched, Enoch summoned his courage, his voice barely a whisper. "Why do you weep?" The sound cracked like thunder in the stillness, but the angel's gaze pierced through him with an intensity that threatened to unravel his very soul. Then, just as swiftly as it began, the moment shifted. A rustling in the bushes interrupted their exchange, sending a chill down Enoch's spine. Shadows danced around him, breathing life into the fear creeping inside. Was it just an animal? Or something darker? The angel turned sharply, its wings spread wide, casting a shadow that enveloped Enoch completely. The air around him crackled with urgency. Enoch's heart raced. "What must I do?" he asked, feeling a lump form in his throat. As the wind howled softly through the leaves, he observed the angel nod, but words failed him. The tears continued to fall, and Enoch was left with a question that hung like a heavy fog. What revelation awaited him, and would it lead to salvation or destruction? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. In the uneasy silence that lingered after Enoch's question, the world felt poised on the edge of an unknown precipice. The shadows shifted around him, seemingly alive, and the angel remained there, crystalline tears flowing freely, glimmering in the feeble light. The air was thick with a weight that demanded reverence. Even the very trees seemed to hold their breath, as if the cosmos awaited the unfolding of a sacred dialogue. Enoch ventured closer, his heart pounding a solemn rhythm that harmonized with the angel's sorrow. There was an ache within him, a yearning to grasp the depth of this moment. "Is there a message? A truth you wish to share?" he implored, each word laced with an anxious urgency. The angel's cry of anguish resonated in the echoes of his soul, compelling him to understand the depths of this celestial lament. The being's wings lowered slightly, revealing a countenance shrouded in grace and suffering. Its eyes, still blazing with a fiery illumination, bore the markings of ages past, reflecting the trials endured by both heaven and earth. Enoch felt himself drawn into that gaze, an ocean of wisdom and woe. It was then that he perceived the faintest whisper, carried upon the rush of the evening breeze. "The hearts of men have turned again to darkness," it repeated, making Enoch shudder with the gravity of its words. "That cannot be," he murmured, the flicker of hope battling against despair within him. "Isn't what remains of humanity striving for truth?" But the angel merely shook its head, the sheen of sorrow clinging to its feathers. Each droplet that fell from its celestial visage seemed to echo throughout the ages, a lament for lost potential. Enoch's mind raced back to the stories of old, those echoing from the lips of wise ones who spoke of choices, some life-giving, others destructive. "What must I do?" he asserted again, his voice trembling now with a mix of fear and duty. It was an entreaty, a plea to be given the strength to act in the face of knowledge that could alter destinies. Without a word, the angel pointed toward the horizon where the sky began to blush with the colors of dawn. In that moment, Enoch knew instinctively that the path to understanding lay ahead. Yet shadows loomed closer, giant forms inching their way toward him, each movement echoes of choices made in their own darkened hearts. The angel, still weeping, whispered with a voice like thunder cloaked in silk, "Witness the signs, Enoch. They unveil not just the sins of those around you but the corners of your own heart as well." The warning hung like a specter, and Enoch felt a chill sweep through him. Every choice he made, every heartbeat thudding against the confines of flesh, would ripple across an unsuspecting world. The presence of the angel grew more urgent. "Arise, for insight challenges you," it commanded, its silhouette shimmering in the dim light. But as Enoch steadied his breath, ready for whatever revelation lay ahead, the rush of shadows halted abruptly. He felt a sudden emptiness, as if a crucial truth teetered on the brink of revelation. Will I find the strength to seek that insight? Enoch pondered aloud, the thought wrapping around him like a shroud. Or will I, too, succumb to the darkness? As dawn began to break and the world stirred into life, Enoch stood at the intersection of the sacred and the mundane, pondering the unfathomable challenge laid before him. What lies in wait within the folds of fate, and how might his own heart tip the scales toward salvation or ruin? As the first rays of dawn spilled across the land, Enoch could feel the gentle stirrings of life awakening around him. The songbirds began their morning chorus, each note a reminder of renewal, yet the angel's sorrow lingered like an unshakable fog. How strange it was, he thought, that in this moment of light, a weight of such darkness still resided. "Why must you weep, messenger of heaven?" Enoch asked, a trembling urgency lining his voice. "What fate binds your heart so tightly to the world beneath?" He stepped closer, the sweetness of the air around him turning heavy with the weight of unspoken truths. The angel drew a shuddering breath, and for a moment, the universe seemed to contract, holding just the two of them in its grasp. "The heart of the Creator beats within each human soul," it began, its voice a symphony of anguish and beauty. Yet they turned their backs to the melody, trading harmony for discord. Enoch's mind raced, grappling with the gravity of each word. Is my own heart a discord? Am I not striving for truth, for righteousness? He felt a flicker of indignation, even as doubt encroached upon him. "No heart is untouched by shadows," the angel replied, its luminescent feathers glimmering like starlight in the waking dawn. "To confront the depth of darkness is the very trial of existence. You must witness what dwells within your spirit, only then might you light a path amid those lost in the veil of ignorance and despair." The angel's gaze pierced through him, unraveling layers that Enoch had once deemed secure. "What if you discover a darkness within, Enoch? What then?" it asked, the inquiry curling around the corners of his heart like an icy whisper. The weight of possibility settled heavily upon him, as he considered the implications. Could the imperfections of his own heart mirror those of the world? Could he, this humble being seeking communion with the divine, also harbor shadows? "I have seen the light of the heavens. I have walked with wisdom," Enoch insisted, a flicker of desperation threading through his words. "Surely that must count for something." "Indeed," the angel responded, a note of softness strengthening its tone. "But it is not the light alone that shapes you, it is the journey through both shadow and light. In your quest, you must be prepared to face the truth of who you are. For it is out of the ashes of one's own failings that a true leader emerges, one who shines not only in strength but in an understanding of the subtleties of human frailty. As the sun climbed higher, illuminating the storied earth, Enoch sensed the urgency tapping a rhythm against the fragile facade he maintained. Could it be that his own fears and flaws were the very keys to a greater understanding? A dialogue blossomed within him, one of curiosity battling with the narrative he had constructed around his own righteousness. What must I do to unearth this truth? Enoch questioned, an earnest plea to the realm beyond his comprehension. I wish to know my own heart, but how does one unmask their own shadows? The angel's wings unfurled, casting gentle light over Enoch, and he felt an overwhelming presence, as if the very essence of the celestial were reaching down to envelop him. Seek solitude and speak to the Creator, it instructed. In the quiet heart of the wilderness, you may confront the reality of your spirit. It is there, amid the whispers of the breeze and silence of the mountains, that the truths of your existence shall unfurl. As the angel's words resonated with him, Enoch clenched his fists, determination rising to meet the dawning challenge. Yet, beneath that resolve dwelled a tremor of fear. Was he truly ready to face the parts of himself long hidden away? And if he invoked these revelations, what would the cost of such wisdom be? Will I emerge from this journey unscathed? Enoch pondered anxiously, his gaze turning to the vast horizon, where sky kissed earth in an embrace replete with potential. Or will I be swallowed whole by the truths that await? With each flutter of the angel's wings, the questions took flight, dancing poised upon the edge of revelation and reflection. As the dawn illuminated the world with a promise of new beginnings, Enoch stood at the threshold of destiny, filled with a mixture of hope and trepidation, wondering just how deep his own darkness could run and what he might discover if he dared to seek the truth within. In the stillness that followed the angel's departure, Enoch found himself enveloped by a profound silence, deeper than the quiet of the woods that surrounded him. He felt the earth beneath his feet, solid yet unyielding, as his thoughts twisted into a knot of anticipation and dread. What lay ahead on his journey into solitude, into the very heart of his being? Choosing his path with intention, Enoch ventured deeper into the wilderness, where the sun poured its golden light upon the trees, casting long shadows that danced with each step. The air around him felt different, charged with the weight of his purpose. Each rustle in the brush echoed with a question: was he prepared to conquer the darkness within? He found refuge in a secluded glade, a place untouched by the passage of time, where the ancient oaks stood like guardians of hidden knowledge. Here, Enoch knelt upon the soft moss, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath him. He closed his eyes, drawing in a breath scented with the fresh aroma of the forest, and began to speak, heart laid bare to the Creator. Heavenly Father, he whispered, words trembling in the stillness. Show me the truth of my heart. Illuminate the shadows that linger within me and grant me the courage to embrace them. He waited, time stretching out in both uncertainty and hope. As silence folded around him like a cloak, minutes turned into hours, and just as the sun began to dip low on the horizon, casting warm hues across the sky, Enoch felt a stirring of presence, an undeniable shift in the air that made the hair on the back of his neck rise. It was as if the entirety of the heavens conspired to surround him in a blanket of warmth and grace. Opening his eyes, he beheld a figure rising from the ground, ethereal and radiant, a vision of a luminous being that shimmered with an unearthly light. Enoch, the figure called, and though its voice was soft, it resonated with the authority of ancient wisdom. You have come seeking truth, yet are you prepared for what follows? This path demands more than simple understanding, it demands transformation. As fear and awe collided within him, Enoch noticed an echo of his heart reflected in the being's gaze, an intimate unveiling of his own turmoil. In that moment, the vulnerability of soul met the infinite compassion of the divine. What must I do? Enoch pleaded, urgency filling his voice. If I am to uncover the shadows, what sacrifice must I offer? Am I to shed a part of myself to grow anew? The angelic presence nodded with solemnity. Indeed, growth often requires the patience and resilience of a gardener. There is beauty in sowing your seeds in grief as much as in joy. Some layers must be stripped away, they are binds that have held you from ascending. An unrelenting wave of realization washed over Enoch as he began to grapple with his reluctance to let go of the past, the memories that anchored him in a false sense of security. But to remove these layers leaves me exposed. Will I still be Enoch? Will I still know who I am? His voice quivered, for in confronting the depths of his spirit, he felt the ground beneath him tremble. You will know yourself in a way more profound than you ever imagined, the radiant figure assured him, its light unwavering. But there lies the truth of our existence. Knowing oneself is not only to embrace the light but to fully confront the shadows, to allow for transformation through the grace of acceptance. Can you step forward into the unknown, letting go of what no longer serves you? As the last rays of sunlight fell behind the horizon, leaving a canvas of stars stretching across the heavens, Enoch pondered deeply. The choice hung suspended in the air, heavier than a stone, yet lighter than a sigh. Would he dare to step beyond the veil of his own making? In a world so rich in uncertainty, what treasures lay in the path of vulnerability? The questions cascaded like a gentle stream through the forest, intertwining with the budding promise of revelation. Enoch's heart pulsed in tandem with the universe, each beat echoing his fervor for ascension, urging him toward a journey uncharted. What would become of him, he wondered, should he embrace both the light and shadows within? And as he turned to face the heavens, the weight of his decision loomed large, unfurling a mystery entangled with wonder and fear. Would he emerge transformed, or would the truth consume him in its relentless pursuit of understanding? In the stillness of that starlit hour, Enoch remained at the crossroads of intention and fear, pondering the angel's solemn charge. The luminous being shone brighter under the vast expanse of the heavens, its presence a soothing balm to his churning spirit. Yet, despite the warmth that enveloped him, a chill of uncertainty lingered. "Speak, O Enoch," the angel urged, its voice a gentle whisper that blended with the night breeze. "What weighs upon your heart? What do you fear most in this pursuit of truth?" The question echoed through Enoch's mind, weaving through the chambers of his heart like a thread of light illuminating the shadows. "I fear," he hesitated, laying bare the rawness of his spirit, "I fear the loss of control. If I venture into my depths, I may unearth things I am neither ready to face nor can I contain. What if the shadows swallow me whole?" The angel regarded him with compassion, a mirror reflecting not judgment, but understanding. To confront your shadows does not mean to be overtaken by them. Within those depths lies not only despair but the seeds of wisdom. Every soul carries both light and darkness. The true miracle lies in your willingness to meet them as part of your divine design. Enoch breathed deeply, feeling the significance of the words washing over him, challenging him to redefine his understanding of fear. Yet, apprehensions clung to him like thorns, and he knew he needed more than mere counsel. But how do I ensure I do not lose my way in this transformation? How do I find balance amidst the chaos? Consider the cycle of nature, the angel proposed, gesturing towards the stars that twinkled like jewels in the dark. The seed must die to its previous form to awaken anew. Each season blends the decay of autumn with the promise of spring. Embrace the cycle, allow yourself to feel every shadow, but also the sun that follows. Trust in the divine rhythm that guides you. Enoch felt himself drawn to the earth beneath his knees, the moss cool and soft against his skin. As he looked upon the forest surrounding him, he realized that it thrived in a fragile balance of life and death. How easy it was to see the beauty in the blooming flower, yet how often he overlooked the essential decay that nurtured it. Then, if I embrace both, he murmured, do I risk becoming something unfathomable? Can transformation lead to unfamiliarity? The angel's presence brightened, as if drawing strength from Enoch's vulnerability. To transform is not to lose oneself, it is to unfold into a deeper understanding. You will still be Enoch, but Enoch reborn, a blend of spirit and experience. It is through this rebirth that your essence merges with the variety of life itself. Just then, a cool wind rustled through the glade, and Enoch closed his eyes again, picturing the shadows of his past as daunting as they were familiar. He envisioned embracing them like wise teachers rather than enemies, acknowledging their existence instead of repressing them. Would it be so terrifying? Could pain serve not as a prison but as a passageway to freedom? Enoch, said the angel, its voice now resonating with earnest support, write your own narrative anew as you grow. Fear not the unknown path, instead, find solace in your curiosity. There, in that quest, lies the essence of divine creation. The willingness to explore. Colossal waves of hope surged within him, mingled with a dawning acceptance of his own humanity. He pondered how those depths might invite not only his own integration but become a testament to others navigating their journeys in the dark. Then, if transformation brings forth not just change but healing, Enoch reflected aloud, what shall I discover about my purpose in this world? What impact can my journey hold for those still seeking to find freedom from their shadows? As the stars brightened in the sky, illuminating the underbrush with soft glimmers, Enoch understood that the answers lay not in the certainty of control but in the embrace of the unfolding journey. With each heartbeat, he felt closer to stepping forward into the unknown, yet still, a lingering question persisted, echoing in the vastness of the night. What would it truly mean for him, once he unveiled the layers limiting his spirit? Would he find connection, or would the depths of his truths render him solitary in an unfathomable wilderness? As dawn broke over the horizon, Enoch rose from his place on the cool earth, the angel's words reverberating in his heart like a distant melody. The golden light creeping through the trees felt both foreign and familiar, and he embraced it as a sign of hope. Each ray was an invitation to step into the new dawn, an awakening woven with possibilities. He returned his gaze to the forest, now alive with colors and sounds, a symphony of creation woven delicately into the fabric of life. The tranquility around him anchored his spirit, yet a deep curiosity stirred within. Enoch longed to explore the dimension of existence he had only dared to ponder before this moment. He felt a tug toward a deeper understanding of not just himself, but of the broader tapestry of all creation. Divine creation encompasses both the known and the unknown, he murmured, recalling the angel's wisdom. To unearth one's essence means to embrace the entirety of life. The notion brightened his spirit, igniting a quiet determination within him. So he walked onward, his heart attuned to the sights and sounds of the woodlands, marveling at the way each creature lived in harmony with its surroundings. The vibrant chorus of birds was a reminder of the beauty found in vulnerability, the way that each note emerged from their being echoed the angel's message. Life was meant to be shared in all its forms. As dusk began its descent once more, Enoch arrived at a crystal-clear river that wound gracefully through the landscape, its waters reflecting the vibrant hues of the setting sun. He knelt by its banks, letting the coolness wash over his hands. The gentle flow of the current mirrored the rhythm of change that had been set in motion within him. He saw in the stream an unchained spirit, meandering freely yet purposefully toward something greater. Am I meant to be like this water? He pondered aloud, wondering if transformation demanded surrendering to the flow. The thought filled him with intrigue and trepidation. What would it mean to yield to the waters, to trust in the direction life might take him? Suddenly, a movement caught his eye. Weaving through the reeds, a majestic fish leaped from the depths, its scale glinting in the fading light. It landed back into the water with a splash that sent ripples across the surface. For a moment, he remained in awe, pondering the significance of that leap. Was it a metaphor for his own journey, leaving the safety of the deep waters to embrace the air, only to return with newfound wisdom? The enchanting vision stirred his heart, and he thought of the spirits still lost among their shadows, struggling to break free. Could my transformation foster a greater ripple? Could it inspire others to leap into their unknown? Enoch envisioned himself stepping forward, not merely for his own sake but as a beacon to those navigating similar darkness. What if in revealing his shadows, he could illuminate a path for others? With each leap into the unknown, hearts could awaken, and souls connect in the dance of vulnerability and shared experience. As twilight deepened, the first stars began to twinkle against the canvas of evening. With wonder and gratitude, Enoch rested his head against a sturdy tree, surrendering to the mystery of the cosmos above. Still, I ask myself, he contemplated in the quiet of the night, what if I embrace this transformation and find that the essence of Enoch has always been marred by the shadows I have feared? Would the truth free my spirit or bind me to a reality beyond any I could fathom? The river continued its eternal flow, the stars twinkled with wisdom, and Enoch felt the weight of the query settle within him, a reminder that his journey had just begun, leading him toward revelations yet unimagined. As the night cloaked the world in a deep indigo serenity, Enoch drifted into a light slumber, lulled by the gentle lull of the river and the whispering rustle of leaves overhead. A warmth enveloped him in dreams, and he found himself wandering through a mist-laden field, the air thick with a divine presence. In this sacred space, a radiant figure emerged, unearthly in beauty and grace, the light from the angel illuminating the world around him, casting shadows that danced like fleeting secrets. Enoch, the angel's voice echoed like the distant thunder of a coming storm, both powerful and tender. You seek understanding, yet your heart is shrouded in trepidation. Do you know the depths of your longing? Enoch's heart quickened as he fell to his knees, captivated by the piercing gaze of the celestial being. "I wish to uncover the truths tied to my soul, but I fear what they may reveal," Enoch replied, his voice trembling like the fragile leaves overhead. "I do not wish to be defined by the shadows that linger in my past." A gentle smile graced the angel's lips, and a single tear slipped down the radiant visage, leaving a trail of shimmering light in its wake. It is in the confrontation with those shadows that the truest light emerges. Do not mistake your past as a burden. Within the lessons of disappointment and anguish, there lies a pathway to wisdom that yearns to be walked. Enoch's spirit stirred as he considered the weight of the angel's words. Memories of past mistakes flashed before him, times he had faltered, moments he had hidden from vulnerability. "But what if those memories consume me?" he asked, heart racing. "What if they shape me into someone I am not?" The angel stepped closer, the luminous aura surrounding them pulsating with compassion. "You must embrace the entirety of your being, Enoch. Your shadows can only bind you if you refuse to acknowledge them. In acceptance lies liberation." The mountain qualities of the angel's presence filled Enoch with an understanding that shook him to his core. "And if I do?" he ventured. "If I embrace them and they drive me to despair?" The angel's eyes shifted, reflecting the depths of the night sky. "Then you will find purpose even in the darkest corners of your heart. From despair can rise empathy, from guilt, courage." The angel raised an ethereal hand, summoning forth a Visiona swarm of lost souls wandering in an endless desert, parched and desolate. Enoch felt their pain as if it were woven into the fabric of his own being. "What if through my own shadows, I can bring comfort to these souls?" Enoch's heart surged with a newfound idea, one that carried the weight of purpose. "Can my journey serve as a bridge to others?" The angel's gaze softened further, the tears now a cascade of silver light spilling forth. "Every soul has the potential to illuminate the dark, to become a stream of healing for those in turmoil. Your path is not solitary, and every step you take in pursuit of truth will resonate within the lives of many." With that, the angel began to fade, but the twilight of their connection lingered. "Remember, Enoch, that the shadows you fear can become the dawn that guides you. Embrace the entirety of your essence, for only then can you uplift the world waiting for your light." Enoch awoke with the first light of dawn casting golden rays through the foliage, and the river beside him flowed with renewed vigor, reflecting shimmering possibilities. There was clarity in the chaos, and he could feel the weight of the angel's message resting gently upon his soul. "Is it truly possible," he mused, "the morning dew shimmering like the angel's tears, that my shadows can serve as a beacon for others? What if each sorrow shapes not only my journey but also the journeys of those I may never meet?" The river's song answered him in heartfelt whispers, yet the question hung in the air. His journey was merely beginning, and the shadows remained part of a greater mystery to be unveiled. As the sun climbed higher, Enoch rose to meet the day, each step taken with a sense of purpose ignited by the transcendent encounter of the night. The world around him sparkled with the morning dew, yet within him stirred a deeper Iona call to universal connection, both haunting and beautiful. Enoch walked beside the river, letting the soft splash of water accompany his thoughts. He pondered the angel's words, recognizing the thin fabric that wove together shadow and light. Each memory of sorrow and joy painted the canvas of his existence, yet he felt sheared from the fears that once held him captive. Still, doubt clung to him like mist. Were his shadows truly the sources of strength? As he journeyed further down the bank, Enoch's gaze fell upon a gathering of people at the river's edge, their faces lined with worry. They were whispering amongst themselves, some pointing and others searching through old garments. Curiosity nudged him closer until he could discern the source of their distress. A child had fallen into the water. Without a moment's hesitation, Enoch rushed forward, his heart thundering in his chest. As he reached the water's edge, he spotted the small hand of the child flailing helplessly amid the current. Fearing the weight of his own doubts, he glanced upward, half expecting to see the angel illuminating the scene, help him. A woman cried, her voice cracking, tears flowing freely as she clutched the hands of those around her, embodying the compassion that the angel had inspired within him. Enoch dove into the river. The icy water enveloped him as he swam fiercely toward the child, pushing against the current that roared against his efforts. Thoughts fluttered through his mind, but he clung tightly to the clear purpose that had taken hold of him would save this child. As he pulled the child's small body into his arms, a strange warmth enveloped them both. There was fear in the child's eyes, but also an unsettling trust that seemed to blossom in the very depths of despair. Enoch fought to reach the shore, buoyed by an inner light that flickered as fiercely as it could in the face of the tumultuous waves. Finally, gasping for breath, they broke through the surface and emerged onto the bank. As Enoch laid the child down beside the frantic mother, he felt the weight of his own shadows lifting, replaced by waves of gratitude and joy. The gathered crowd erupted in relieved exclamations, celebrating the miracle that was unfolding before them. Among the rapture, Enoch's heart glowed with a deeper understanding of the angel's words. In those moments of confrontation with despair, the threads of his own vulnerabilities intertwined with the broader human experience, crafting a tapestry of empathy that resonated within all who witnessed the rescue. He gazed into the eyes of the child and saw not just fear, but a mirror reflecting every struggle he had ever known. They shared a connection born of shared fragility, a shared essence of humanity that pulsed beneath the surface of sorrow. As cheers echoed around him, Enoch felt the angel's presence once more, though it remained a soft whisper in the air, urging him to listen. In the act of saving others, you find your own salvation, yet you must continue to seek your own truths. Drawn into his thoughts, he confined his awareness to the crowd. There was still uncertainty that lingered in his mind. What truths lay ahead for him? Could this simple act of courage truly be a bridge to something much greater, a manifestation of his shadows transforming into a luminous light? He knelt beside the child, whispering words of comfort that wrapped around them like a warm embrace, yet the larger mystery remained. How would his own journey shape not only his life but the lives of others whose paths crossed his? And what shadows still awaited him, hidden just beyond the horizon of his understanding? As the thrumming echoes of joy began to settle, Enoch rose from the ground, a newfound commitment pulsing within him. The child's mother clutched her little one close, her eyes glistening with tears of relief as she murmured praises to the heavens. Enoch stepped back, letting the celebration wash over him even while his heart remained tethered intriguingly to the thread of spiritual clarity he had touched only moments before. Yet, the angel's presence lingered, heavy in the air, rooting him to the spot beside the riverbank as the sun continued its journey across the sky. Enoch felt the weight of unspoken truths pressing on his chest. He wondered about the nature of salvation, the kind he had glimpsed in the moment of rescue and the kind he needed to seek for himself. He turned away from the crowd, the noise fading to a soft hum behind him. His feet found the familiar path through the trees that bordered the river. As he moved deeper into the woods, he sensed something greater awaiting him. The feeling washed over him, a pull, a magnetic draw to a place beyond mere words, where the spirit could speak more clearly in the silence. Enoch navigated the dense underbrush, sunlight filtering through the leaves above, creating a mosaic of light and shadow around him. The air thickened, electric with unnameable possibilities and an ancient wisdom that seemed to beckon him. What secrets of existence lay just outside his grasp? Suddenly, he came upon a clearing. In the center, an old gnarled tree stood, branches reaching skyward, its bark etched with the marks of time. Beneath its wide canopy sat a figure, cloaked in a mantle woven of twilight. A fleeting thought crept into Enoch's mind, though he dismissed it quickly. It was impossible, yet undeniable, that a similar aura surrounded this figure as the angel from the river. He approached carefully, drawn in with curiosity and reverence. The figure turned slowly, revealing a face both foreign and familiar, eyes reflecting a wisdom that transcended words. Enoch, the figure spoke softly, yet each word resonated deeply within him, vibrating with the memories of solitude and connection that had threaded through his life. You have begun to understand the essence of your being. yet there are deeper layers to peel back the veils of your own spirit. Will I always be bound by these shadows? Enoch asked, vulnerability lacing his tone. Each question felt like an offering, a search for greater clarity. The cloaked figure met his gaze. The love in those eyes evoked a yearning head never fully acknowledged. Your shadows are not your enemies, Enoch. They are your teachers. For every moment you face fear, there lies the potential for profound growth. If you embrace them, a light will pour forth, one that connects the fragments of your heart with the souls of those around you. Enoch felt the waves of understanding pulling at the edges of his consciousness. His heart surged as his mind wrestled with the enormity of the insight. Would this path truly lead him to greater truth, or merely deeper trials? But how do I embrace what I do not understand? He pressed, the uncertainty clinging to him like a shadow refusing to part ways. Seek the wisdom hidden in silence, the figure whispered, gesturing towards the sprawling expanse of nature encircling them. It awaits you, just as the river seeks the ocean. A ripple coursed through Enoch, sensation intertwining with doubt. What wisdom lay dormant, waiting to surface from the depths of his thoughts? As he stood in the clearing, the great tree looming above him, Enoch realized the journey ahead was shrouded in layers of mystery, of endless questions that spiraled through the universe like the tree's branches to the sky. He yearned to peel back every layer, yet understood that some truths might remain obscured until he dared to walk deeper into the labyrinth of his existence. What shadows still lurked in the corners of his soul, holding the potential for his salvation, and what new understandings awaited him on this uncharted path he was destined to traverse. As the sun dipped low in the sky, painting the horizon with hues of amber and violet, Enoch felt a stirring within him, the culmination of his journey of self-discovery culminating in a single, pivotal moment. The cloaked figure under the ancient tree continued to observe him, an embodiment of serenity amidst the whirlwind of his thoughts and fears. The air around them shimmered with possibilities, and Enoch knew the time had come to confront the shadows that dwelled within his soul. Can I truly face the depths of my heart and emerge intact? He asked, his voice tremulous yet resolute. What if I find a darkness I cannot reconcile? The cloak around the figure seemed to pulse, breathing with a life of its own as it regarded him with compassion that transcended time. Embracing the entirety of your being requires courage, Enoch. Shadows do not define you, they are merely facets of your truth, waiting to be integrated into the light. The figure gestured towards the vastness of the sky, where stars began to twinkle into existence. The universe holds within it the paradox of existentia, a divine dance of light and dark. It is through the acknowledgement and acceptance of both that your spirit will truly soar. Taking a breath, Enoch reached deep within, drawing upon the essence of the angel's teachings inscribed in his heart. Then I must tread boldly into those shadows, he declared, each word strengthened by the clarity that washed over him like a wave. But how do I begin this unveiling? Close your eyes, Enoch, the cloaked figure instructed softly. Allow the stillness of the universe to envelop you, listen to the whispers of your heart, the echoes of your past. Only then may the truth arise. With his eyes shut, Enoch focused on the quiet within, retreating into a sanctuary of reflection. The rustling leaves sang around him, a symphony of memories and emotions. In the tapestry of his consciousness, he began to unearth moments of fear, those times when he faltered, moments steeped in regret and loss. He saw the faces of those he had failed to support, those to whom he had turned his back when they needed him most. Each recollection gripped at his heart, yet as he faced them, he found the tears that had once been bottled inside flow freely. They became a conduit for healing. Suddenly, a voice intruded gently into his perception. Embrace the impermanence of suffering, Enoch. Every wound has the potential to become your strength, and every loss, your guiding star. With those words, he felt the heaviness of his shadows transform into shimmering threads of wisdom, lessons learned from heartache that now shimmered in the light of acceptance. Opening his eyes, he gazed once more at the cloaked figure. I see it now, he whispered, overwhelmed by an understanding deeper than words. My shadows are not to be feared, they are part of my journey to help illuminate the paths of others. The figure smiled, a radiant light seeping forth from their presence. Yes, Enoch, the wisdom that arises from your trials can be a beacon for souls lost in the dark, providing solace and strength. As you accept your journey, you create space for others to do the same. With his heart ignited by newfound resolve, Enoch felt an overwhelming surge of purpose. I must go forth and share my journey, he declared, as if a flame had been kindled within him. My shadows can bear witness to the light each person carries, and I will help them navigate through their darkness. As if in response, the obligations of the past flickered behind him, like shadows rapidly dissolving under the illuminating brightness of dawn. The cloaked figure began to dissolve into mist, their words echoing in the rustling leaves. Remember, Enoch, to lead is to illuminate, to create empathy is to embrace vulnerability. Your path ahead is rich with opportunity, but trust that the love woven through your being has boundless power. You are never alone, each shadow of fear shall give way to a light that searches for connection. With renewed purpose, Enoch stepped away from the ancient tree, its branches waving a silent farewell, his heart swelling with the weight of transformation. Traversing through the glade, the beauty of the world around him resonated like music flowing through the air, each rustle of leaves, every ripple of water a reminder of life's delicate balance. As he emerged from the woods, he found himself once again on the banks of the river, where people had gathered to celebrate the miracle of the child's rescue. Yet, now their faces were not just expressions of joy, they bore the weight of collective pain, unspoken struggles hidden beneath the surface. Approaching the riverside, Enoch recognized the spark of connection glimmering in their eyes. I see you, he called out, loudly enough for all to hear. I see your fears and your triumphs. I understand because I have faced my own shadows. The crowd stilled, and Enoch felt a wave of energy reverberating through them, a spark ignited by shared vulnerability. I have learned to embrace both my darkness and my light, he continued, conviction swelling in his voice. It is in the intersection of pain and love that we find our true essence, our collective strength. Let us walk this path together. As the murmurs of acknowledgement rippled through the audience, Enoch felt the warmth of connection envelope him, strangers effortlessly transforming into a unified tapestry of souls. The shadows that once felt isolating now ebbed and flowed like the river alongside him, as each heart resonated with the truth he had uncovered. In that moment, he understood it was not merely his journey but a shared voyage of countless souls, traveling through uncertainty toward light. As he looked into the faces before him, he recognized the angels' tears reflected in their eyes, sorrow mingled with the shimmering fabric of hope. What if our trials become bridges for those navigating their own storms? He mused aloud, watching as the crowd leaned in, drawn to his words. We are not meant to hide our shadows but to acknowledge them, to weave them into the very essence of our humanity. Together, we shall rise. As he spoke, he felt the heart of the Creator reverberate through the depths of his being, a melody that beckoned all to embrace the paradox of existence. The crowd responded with a surge of voices, echoes of affirmation painting the landscape with unity and love, and as Enoch stood there, his own heart bursting with warmth, he truly understood the power of transformation. The shadows lingered, but they no longer held space in isolation, they had become catalysts for connection and guidance, not only for him, but for all. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky ablaze with color, Enoch raised his arms, embracing the night. With every soul intertwined, every shadow made visible, a powerful revelation unfolded. The journey from darkness to light was not just a singular pursuit but a shared odyssey. And therein lay the greatest truth of all. The simplest of transformations could ripple through the ages, binding humanity together in a dance of understanding and love, illuminating the path from despair to hope, forever echoing across the vast expanse of existence. In that moment, Enoch became a vessel of the divine, a witness to the fragile beauty of souls standing together, forever changed by the shadows, forever illuminated by the love that transcends all.